Hi, friends. Welcome. Whether you're here live or watching the replay later, I'm really glad you're here. If gardening has ever felt confusing, if you've tried things before and it did not work, if you've quietly thought, maybe I'm just not good at this space is for you. Today is not about mistakes. It's not about what you did wrong. It's about the things most beginners aren't told at the beginning. So you can relax. No pressure. No taking needed. Just listen and notice what feels familiar. So before we go further, I want to quickly introduce myself for anyone who's new here. My name is Vandhana. I'm a garden coach here in the Houston area. More than that, I'm someone who has walked the same path. I did not grow up knowing how to garden. I learned by trial and error, by killing a lot of plants, by feeling confused, by wondering why advice that worked for others did not work for me. Over the years, I've helped many beginners and busy families start their gardens that actually fit their lives, their time, their energy, their climate. And what I've learned is this: most people don't fail at gardening, they just don't get the right starting point and they don't get the support there. That is why I teach the way I do: slow, simple, realistic, and focused on confidence first. So if you've ever felt behind or unsure or overwhelmed, you're exactly the kind of gardener I love helping. This is for you if you're new to gardening, if you're a busy parent, if you want gardening to feel simpler, lighter, and less stressful. You don't need a lot of experience. You definitely don't need a lot of fancy tools. You just need a kinder starting point. One of the most common things I hear is I tried really hard last time. It did not work. I ended up harvesting one tomato. That's a heavy feeling because when something doesn't work after all the effort we put, we just don't feel disappointed. We start to doubt ourselves. Here's the truth: most gardening struggles are not because you didn't care or you didn't put enough effort. They're not because you're bad at plants or you don't have a green thumb. They happen because people start in ways that make hard gardening harder than it needs to be. And when things slowly get difficult, like, yellow leaves, bugs, small harvest, it starts to feel personal. It's not. Most beginner problems happen before the first plant even goes in the ground. Gardening rarely fails suddenly. It gets hard slowly. And when expectations don't match your reality, when the setup doesn't match your actual real life, that is when the problem persists. And today I want to gently share 3 very common places this shows up. Most beginners don't start with an easy plant. They start with an exciting plant. I'm talking tomatoes, peppers, eggplants, amazing plants, but not great confidence builders at the beginning, especially. They take time, they attract pests, they are very sensitive. So weeks go by, and instead of feeling encouraged, you feel stressed. And you think, I must be doing something wrong. The real issue is you started with a plant that asks for patience before you built your confidence. Beginners don't need big wins. They need quick, forgiving wins. Plants that grow fast. Plants you can harvest again and again. Plants that say, hey, you got this. And most people, the second mistake I see a lot of beginners um, do is they they don't plan. They completely skip the planning part and they just start. They see plants. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Spring comes, go to the nursery, get a bunch of plants, bring them home, and think, I'll figure it out. Here's the truth: hope is not a garden plan. Without a plan, plants get crowded. Sun gets misjudged, space gets tight, and people then blame themselves when really they just didn't have a guide. A plan doesn't make gardening rigid, it makes it calmer. Third mistake I see is at the beginning, the motivation is super high. New plants, big soil, fresh soil, awesome dreams. And then life happens. Kids, work, heat. Oh my God, heat. And tired days. And then gardening feels like an additional chore when you barely have time to do your regular ones. Motivation fades, and people think, I guess I wasn't committed or it didn't work out for me. Maybe I'm just bad at gardening. The whole thing falls apart. When there's no simple system to fall back on, the whole thing literally falls apart. Beginners do not need motivation. They need easy setup, fewer plants, gentler routines. Gardening should support your life, not compete with it. Let me pause and check in with you guys. Which of these actually felt familiar? Have you ever started with the wrong plant? Have you ever planted without a plan? Have you ever started super excited and then overwhelmed later? You can share it in the comments. Awareness is already progress. I've seen this again and again. People don't fail because they don't care or they don't put in the effort. They struggle because they start with too much too fast. And when the beginning is simplified, confidence actually grows. If this feels comforting or eye opening, I share more support like this in my emails and on my podcast. No pressure, no overwhelm. Just gentle guidance for real life gardeners, not Instagram or Pinterest gardeners. One small step is enough. Thank you so much for being here. Even understanding why things felt hard before is progress. You're not behind. You are actually learning. I will put in the link to subscribe to my emails in the comments. We'll keep growing together. See you soon.